have my two brothers, Fuad Bakr and John Castagne. Wagwan, my brothers.
Blessings, man. Blessings.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Pleasure
yeah,
to
man.
be here.
Yeah. So this one, to me, is a very extremely special one. Especially to be in your presence, because I have a lot of questions to ask you. Off camera, I was telling John, I asked you the other day, you know is the Coup? And he said no. And it teeth mad. I was like, what? How you could not know what is the Coup?
Yeah.
Same time now I talk to John, and your name come up and we arrange this. So, things that's happen in a weird way now.
No, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Things that's happen in a weird way. And the reason for this platform is really to educate. Whether it be through the music, whether it be through the political side, whether it be through any side. I just want to educate on a positive side. Never the negative, always the positive. But how do you tell me, what is the Coup? I didn't like that. Because to me, me growing up, that was a very important topic in my life. As John say off the camera too, if you don't know where you come from, you ain't gonna know where you're going. So it's a pleasure to have you here, bro. And I just want to start off this podcast straight it. I want you to explain what is the Coup, or what was the Coup.
All right. You're going straight into the fire. Boy.
Yeah, one time.
There are points in which when people ask
You
me...
can just hold it up a little bit.
Yeah, there are points in which when people ask me that question, I could refer them to my father.
Right.
Right? Because, that's July 27, 1990. I was 4 years old.
Right.
So everything I learned about what took place then, come after.
Right.
Right? And, interesting what you say about the youth as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because history is a real important thing.
Correct.
As you say, if you don't know your past, you don't know where you're going to, right? You don't know your history. It puts you at a disadvantage in understanding
True.
where you are and where you're going in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I really had to try to understand what took place.
So you growing up had to learn yourself what was the Coup?
For
or
sure.
It was taught to you like...
For sure, no.
Or you had to do a little homework on your father and...
I had to do my research. I had to
Yeah.
try to understand because I hearing what people saying.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And my father don't even have to say nothing because they're my father.
Right.
And I see in love, I see in justice, I see in kindness.
Mm-hmm. Principle, everything.
I see in, on a daily basis, I see in that. So you not to tell me nothing.
So you grew up in the house with your father?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, family is extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned that from our father.
Right.
Certain principles, love, honor, respect, right? Sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
If I start quoting things that my father say over his life that have stood with me and still stick with me and that I continue to live by.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was going to school and thing, QRC, and my father would say, boy, heights of great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but while their companions slept, they kept struggling upward through the night. And he would say that to us to encourage us to do more now.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to succeed, while others sleeping, you had a grind.
Right.
And while all the grinding, 10:30,
Correct.
men in the bed.
But back to where he was.
So
You doing your research on what is the Coup.
Yeah.
And what did you come up with as a young man growing up, trying to figure out what was the Coup?
So I understand revolution. That is the closest
Right.
word.
Mm-hmm.
I understand sacrificing yourself for a greater good.
Mm.
If you're going to a situation like that, you're sure to come out.
Right.
Right? So you see that sort of stupid talk where man just talk about try to take over and
Right.
like if it's for this and for that. when you go into a situation like that, you ain't going in the bank to rob the bank, you know,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
and grab money and go and hide
No, sir.
and
Yeah.
spend it whenever, you know.
Right.
You go in at the system and the leaders of the system for the wrongs that they're doing,
So let me ask you something.
and you're risking it.
Yeah. So let me ask you
All.
For no
something.
biscuits.
Yeah, for no biscuit.
Yes, for
So a
justice.
question I always
For
wanted,
justice.
me as a youth growing up here, about the coup, that kind of vibes, I always wanted to find out this. What was the plan behind the coup, as in the sense of, so when your father and they did what they did, was it, what was going to happen next if they was successful at it? Were they going to become like the leaders of the land?
No,
or?
so as far as I understand, for what was said during the coup, from the historical perspective that we are given from the footage that is there, you know, my father would have said certain things to the population over the airwaves. You know, he
Right.
went to TTT
Mm-hmm.
to direct the society and explain the whole scene,
Right.
and another team was in the Red House, right, dealing with the culprits of all different crimes who were held, right,
Right.
who were arrested, as he say,
Right.
right.
Could I just, if I may,
Sure.
I think more importantly, let me say,
Oh, shit.
I think more importantly, KG, just to kind of go, as we were saying, we need to know where we're coming from to know where we're going. So I think a lot of times when we were speaking before the podcast in Trinidad and in the world, they love to keep us distracted with the hype and with a lot of the pitter-patter talk, as opposed to what was the real meat of the matter. If you go on the surface of the oceans, it's pitter-patter, it's windy, it's the waves, it's all of that. But as you go down, you're gonna get dense. It's so dense that it will even crush iron. So knowing a man like Abu Bakr, Islamic faith, you know, I am a multi-spiritualist, you know what I mean, and more so as of lately, like for the past 5 years, I've been very deep within Orisha and Yoruba faith. And when you look at what Abu Bakr did, where you see guns, where you see fighting for justice, where you see that there's conflict, where you see that there's war, in Yoruba, which is actually ancient African culture, the god of war is known as Ogun. Ogun's color is green by coincidence. But the story and the it's all about, in Africa there's a saying, there were no gods in Africa, there were principles. And they say there are principles and powers that rule this plane. The power, absolute power, does what? Corrupts. Absolute
Right.
power corrupts absolutely. So the power is not really the meat of the matter. The power is what everybody wants. What was the principle behind the power?
Right.
We all saw the
So
power.
basically,
What was the
you're answering the
cause?
question in the
What-
sense of
What were the
So the goal-
what were the,
the
lead
goal-
up, what were the events that led to this action that had
right.
that felt
But here,
like
what
it
I
had
want
to
to
be
know.
taken?
Here, what I want to know. Yes, I understand all that, but was the goal to be the leaders, like?
Right.
Because like I remember growing up as a
Yes.
youth, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
people would be like, it's better Abu Bakr and them to take over this country and
Yes, yes,
and then you would hear other youth saying, you mad or what? All are we would have to be Muslim. You mad, I madness.
Question is, would it-
So
was
I
it
want to
trying
know.
take over in the first place?
No, so I want to know now. Was that really the goal? The goal was, I'm saying that's a negative thing, innit? Like if Abu Bakr and them end up being
But we
the
need
boss
clarity.
at Trinidad. But was that the goal? I want you to answer that for me.
That's
Like,
on me, that's
yeah, I mean,
But
like,
I
was that the goal? Or,
I
you
could
know?
give the best from what I understand.
Yeah.
Right,
We'll
and
stay.
what was expressly stated
Right,
was that they had held the government under arrest,
right.
right? And it's important for us to look for it
Can I?
and listen to it. Like, just do the research and get it
Right.
from
So
the
that-
horse's mouth.
So that piece that you are speaking about is out there that you
Yes,
could
out
look
there.
Understand.
where he
It
explained
has some
what.
real cool documentaries
Uh-huh.
Yes.
with actual footage.
But where are finding this?
It's on YouTube.
It's
YouTube?
all over. It's all over.
Yeah, so
I think I actually see one there and they had a long conversation there.
Alright.
No,
No, well, I see little interviews
but I
and
ain't
thing,
even
but
talking about
you
that.
know,
Talking
yeah,
about actual footage
Yeah.
when
Where he is, yeah.
when he's in TTT
right,
and he's saying what he's saying,
What
Right.
are you saying?
what he's saying, and he's
Yes.
directing the
Yes,
population,
yes.
explaining certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, information and the distortion of information
Right.
is important.
Right.
Right.
So they try to hide the truth
Yes.
Yeah.
from people,
Yeah.
right? But if you want to really understand, go to the source as much as possible. And from what he had said at that point in time, the government is under arrest, right?
Like close.
And they are arrested for their crimes,
Mhm.
right? He would have spoken about certain
The
crimes that they would have
were done.
committed,
All right. Okay.
right? The unlawful killing of Bernadette James,
Right.
the occupation of our lands at Mokrapo, and other things, right? The involvement of senior politicians in narcotics trade, right? Things at that point in time, and to some extent now, you know, still exist to
Right.
some extent, right?
Right.
And he felt it necessary at that stage, at that point in time, to take that serious action,
Right.
right? He had asked for new elections in, I think, 30 days or something, and he had also directed for Winston Dukran, who was a member of parliament at that point in time, but someone who he viewed to be positive and honest at that point in time, to be interim
Right.
leader. So it wasn't from what was said publicly, it wasn't about taking over. It wasn't about no Muslim states
It
and
was
all
an
of that.
arrest. It was a citizen's arrest.
In any
A citizen's
case,
arrest.
But in all honesty, right?
Yeah.
Let me for 1 second. You know, I think it's I wanna just let the brother breathe for a second, because at the end of the day, people, yeah, we put him on his spot. My grandfather wrote the national anthem. I'm a Castagne, right? John Castagne, right? And in the anthem it says, here every creed and race find an equal place, forged from the love of liberty, the love of freedom. And my family, my people have their perception. There's a CIA guy going out right now basically telling the world, just like the monks, there's a lot of information coming out, because as we say, everybody needs to know. We need to actually, there's mass information, mass distraction, but we need to start to look at the right information, start to analyze it the right way, start to treat each other with the right kind of respect, to give them the right kind of hearing. And personally, through my life coming up, the rhetoric of the Jamaat al-Muslimin and of the Muslim on the whole, locally and then internationally, and now even to present day with Palestine, and with what's going on, it's always been, and it's no secret that there's a propaganda to tarnish the image of certain organizations that actually still uphold certain key principles and ideals that govern a society correctly. And I mean, we all have the information out there to look for, but as I was telling KG, we need to understand where we're coming from to understand where we're going. And what we understand is that, number one, youths, Abu Bakr didn't run up inside the prime minister or parliament to say, I want to run the country. Let's get that clear. Based on the statements, based on the evidence as well too, based on what was said. He
did not do that.
He did not do that. He went to make literally a citizen's arrest. It actually was pretty SAS style. I'm talking about special forces, minimal casualties. If you understand military warfare and stuff, it's not as much casualties than what you would see happening across the world. For what he had to do, it took a lot of training, a lot of planning. His purpose was to liberate the oppressed, right? So, in America, they have First Amendment rights. When America got their freedom, we have what we call the Buffalo Soldiers. We have the Maroons. We have the Americans from Trinidad. We had people that jumped on ships, went to Haiti, went to America and fought for America's freedom. And then when they were given the land, hey, y'all could live here and stuff. That's how a lot of Caribbean people lived in the south side of the U.S., Louisiana. We have actually, we have this is this where the transatlantic slave trade would have happened. Now the point I'm making is just basically understanding that he went to do something for freedom, to make a point. I definitely think that the point was made. And I think in 2024, 30 years on now, if we have to ask ourselves a question, was he wrong to say that we have criminals running our country and that he should literally arrest the powers that be to say, I'm not saying that this is something that should happen. I'm saying that was he wrong to do that? I personally don't think he was wrong to do that. I think that it was more so very important it was done, and it was a very important moment for all of us to realize, and a great point for us to start this conversation, because the reason why that was done was because we felt like, we're being run by criminals. India Times just reported Trinidad and Tobago was the 6th most criminal society in the world, 30 years on from the coup. Based on that fact, would you say Abu Bakr was wrong in saying we were kind of run by criminals then?
They say
It feels, as I'm saying, the youth have no voice in this country. Christmas lists went all over the country, and everybody 6, 7, 8, 9 who won, who hate each other, who was friends, everybody's saying the same thing. They was friends once, they became enemies. It's an advantage thing. But again, we're on the surface. What's the truth of the matter? If the head is rotten, the body is rotten. You understand what I'm saying? If we are being run by a bully culture, as KG said before the interview, by a bully culture, that's how it feels since in school. But it felt like everywhere you turn in Trinidad is a bully culture, in business is a bully culture, in school is a bully culture.
You feel like you gotta be a bully to survive.
You have to be a bully to survive. You're bullying your family to survive.
No.
You understand? And now, it's like that. There's a girl who came down from Jerusalem, from Israel, and she said, "Yo, I love Trinidad, but I hate the racism." I was like, "You sure racism is the word? You got racism?" She's like, "No. I hate the fact that y'all hate each other, but y'all act so nice." I'm like, she hit it on the head, bro. We're like acting like schizophrenic people, but that's the surface still. Why are we this way? Because we're being run this way. And it's not just been 10 years. It's been the last 10 years. But then even if you move that administration and you won before, what is the difference? It's scandals after scandals after scandals. What is a scandal? Isn't that like some criminal stuff happening? Come on, guys. You know what I'm saying? Who don't pay tax? Who don't do this? Who don't do that? And the people in the street are starving. If picking up guns and killing each other is not a cry for help or a cry to say something, where we need to lend a hand. We need to start to figure this out. We need to come together, just like water, though fragmented, come together in one pot and really fix this thing as one body. If you cut your body here now, if you get a tattoo, your whole body telling you, in your brain telling your body that is priority. But in our society, where we have gaping open wounds, literally people dying, blood in the streets, blood splat on the walls for years, you could see, that's traumatizing, bro. These are gaping wounds in society that children have to grow up and fatherless, and they're going in prison, and if they go in prison, they're coming out more criminal, but in prison is on inhumane conditions. We don't have a proper justice system. When are we as Trinbagonians going to understand or going to accept the reality that though we are separate, though we are fragmented, we share the same common struggle, and that we are, it's not fair, that everything's just upside down, inside out. And the question is, where do we go from here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, Fuad, that is the question. Where do we go from here?
Yeah. I'm pause raising a little bit. That idea that even is forged in our national anthem, of one people that to exist in our society.
The idea of that.
It hurts.
The idea that here's our paradise.
Beautiful idea.
Here's our paradise. Here, nice, everything nice.
I call Trinidad and Tobago a potential paradise.
Correct.
It's supposed to be
Supposed
a
to
paradise.
be,
It has
yeah.
all the elements to be paradise, right? But that unity that seeing different parts of our body as part of us,
Yes, correct. It's one body.
that's not what is engendered and taught in the society. Is we one way, them people in Beatum or Silots or wherever, like them,
That's
Yeah.
the criminal element. Right now we brothers and we sister and we cousins.
No,
and
no, no,
everything.
And
no.
worse
That
yet
is-
in your own family,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
People
That-
who is actual brother and sister.
Nah, that criminals.
Yeah, yeah,
And-
yeah, yeah.
and- You could kill them,
Yeah,
blow up there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I see people say you could drop a bomb on the whole of Beatum.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Them kind of ignorant statements.
yeah.
It is deep divisions in Trinidad and Tobago that have been pushed.
Yeah.
And you're saying the youth don't have a voice, the people don't have a voice.
Wow. That's so true.
Because we could clamor and we could say we don't want this or we want this, and we'll just be ignored.
What
Yeah.
percentage of people voted for the current administration? Like, if we had to say, if
Zero.
like, you know,
Who vote for the administration? People vote because PNM is Afro, and some vote because UNC is East Indian.
but who
Some
actually
people
vote for
vote
the administration? Yeah, correct?
Zero.
Who actually had voted
People vote because they
for a
feel
prime minister in our office, not whoever the hell we get there that could talk to us how they want. Let me get it straight. Yeah, you go. You
people
do your
vote.
thing.
People vote because if I don't vote for this party and they don't stay in power, I go lose my work because that's what they threaten me with.
Yeah.
People vote because there's what my family does do, and they tell me there's what I should do. But people never vote for them to say there's leaders
I never
who
vote.
we know is failure. Like, we don't vote because we believe it's going to become better. We have a dread system that though is not about hope and about us believing it's going to be better. It's fear.
So you don't feel like in this time with the social media and things like somebody like yourself, highly influential, you don't feel like we could use these tools to I don't know, I just asking. I don't know if that is how the thing does
I
work.
think it's happening.
But,
KG,
Like like how people using social media for everything, like to just get famous on a whole. Like you as a man who been doing your thing, can you use social media to get more famous than Rowley or get more famous than I was asking.
KG, I'm going to tell you how dangerous it is to the evil system. Stuart Young, about 3 or 4 years ago, 3 years, said the most dangerous thing for democracy is social media.
Right.
That is locally,
Yeah.
we have a minister
who's saying that?
who's saying
That
social
sounds-
media
that sounds
is the
kinda-
most dangerous thing to democracy.
Right.
I don't know if
Why
this
would you
is.
say
I don't
that?
even know if this is democracy. If this is what democracy is.
But why you say that?
Why? Because it gives people the opportunity
Yeah.
to speak, and it gives truth the opportunity to come out, and it gives information the ability to spread rapidly. And that is something that they used to control. So they control your mind, they
Yeah, but
control
yeah,
your
but
thoughts.
that's not democracy what he's speaking about.
So so let me ask something.
Agreed.
So how
That's not
come?
But when they say democracy, they don't mean for the people, by the people, something working
Yeah,
for
well,
the
I don't
people. They
understand.
mean their power structure.
Yeah, why I don't understand,
mean-
right? Yeah, why I don't understand. If social media is so powerful, right? But on social media, everybody bashing the government, both sides, right? It could be UNC, it could be PNM. You're seeing people bashing them, nothing is working. How come you don't see that reflecting in the politics itself?
Yeah.
So like we say, you a man out there and you in the streets and you helping the people and people saying, yeah, boy, Fuad is the man doing the thing, boy, Castagne them doing nothing, Rowley them doing nothing. But how come when election come, you don't see that reflecting in?
Yeah.
How come?
And that's the challenge, is to translate that sentiment
Right.
into the belief so that people will go forward and even be part of the political process.
So that is the problem, people not really going and
No,
voting.
people don't translate that sentiment. The
the
people who
vibe.
fed up,
So who voting for
They stay
them?
away.
So who's the ones that are voting for them then?
Right, that's
Because
very-
as I
Well,
say,
we
the
just
people
said-
complaining,
Yeah.
but yet still people still voting for the people. So
those
who are
tied
these
up-
people?
Those tied up in the system, thousands of people working CPEP, URP, the thousands of people working for the corporations, the thousands of people who working in the public sector who feel as though, remember, there's a threat, you know. Remember, here what
You
it
don't
is,
vote, you lost your work.
if you don't think this
You lost
way,
your food.
That's
There's
what
what-
it is.
so it's corruption. It is corruption. It is a corrupt system. It is the reason why you get this, KG, the reason why you get this is because you support this. It's
Right.
not because you're a Trinbagonian and every creed and race should find an equal place regardless of your. The reason you get this is because you're a UNC and we run things, so we give you this. The reason why you get this is not because you earn it, but because you're a PNM, you support me, I give you this.
It's not equal get up.
Which that's not the way that
So let me
it's
ask a
supposed to
question.
be.
So let me ask a question. So you as a young one coming up in the thing, blah, 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 blah. Let's just say you get a chance in the near future to be the Prime Minister. I just saying.
Yeah.
How would you go about a situation like that? Because it seems to me that anytime, 'cause if I end up being Prime Minister, I go and help my brethren them, you know. I just being real. I always tell people that I can't go in politics because I might get all my brethren house. I might get my family house, my sister house. But is it that once you reach in that position, you just end up being that type of person?
Nah.
Because like if you end up in that position, how would you attack that situation? Because you have people around you too, you have family, you have friends.
You have to help everybody.
Right. So can you help everybody? Is it that they could help?
And you endeavor your best. You do your best to be fair and to be just.
Right.
That is something that has to be innate in you as a leader.
As a leader, yeah.
Fairness and being just. So you have to balance it off.
Yeah.
And you have to try to surround yourself with people who not about things and not about the accumulation of things, but understand that this is about service. You have to want, same way you just see somebody out there need help, you have to want the best for them the way you want the best for just your family and your children as well. In a position of responsibility, to be honest, you have to feed them before you feed yourself. It's not about me eating cake and caviar and wherever, and wherever them eat. Is a difficult thing, is sacrifice, is service, right? So one of the principles that I've learned as a young man is that the master is the one who serves. The master is not the one who being driven around, having a good...
True.
The master is the one who driving, who scooping out, giving out the juice. Something I used to do in Willow congregation. I go get out juice to everybody, but use the last person going and get juice. And if the juice finish, you ain't going and get no. And you can't pour away juice for yourself if you have a child who wants juice. But that principle, those principles lost in the system. It's about self-aggrandizement, it's about me, it's about power, it's about me setting myself. We have been bred a doctrine of selfishness and greed over time, and the culture has changed because Trinidad used to be love and together and everybody and share and collective responsibility. And the village raising the children. And you checking for the neighbor child the way you would check for your own. And granny has 5 children, but she has 6 or 7 or 8 because somebody else children, she bringing up the children too. Because whoever not here or wherever. That is how
natural
nice we was. And we turn into greed, selfishness, materialism, cut up with own brother. Imagine you cut up, some cases kill your own brother for money, for things, to put a metal thing on your hand, or to drive a car. You give up love for things. So we really been bred, and we blessed culture, kind of been changed now. And all right, because the love from the top, that example of love do exist. And what we see on the streets is just an example of how wicked the entire place is. In business is cut up. And everything is cut up. Is a dog fight. And them just translating that on
Bully
the street.
culture.
A bully thing. The man who go in and get something is the man who bullying everybody. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go down that road too much, but we have a leader who, I mean, man can't really reason with you and I love and I laugh and however.
Yeah.
Rowdy,
And you need that in a leader.
If he find anything, he tinging you, he bullying you down now. And that's a kind of,
Rowdy.
that's
get
really
marked,
not
man.
the way it's supposed to be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The office of the prime minister, I respect that office. The office of the president, I respect that office. The constitution of the nation of Trinidad and Tobago, you have to respect that document. Right? You know, I have sent the treason. If any Trinidadian, the treason act is about 4 pages long. By the time you're done with section 2, you're going and say, but I could make this report. I'm telling you. Right? So the question is, the thing is, all right, let me say if you know, the acts that we see happening, because in a treason act, all you need is a witness, 2 witnesses, stating that, you know, the powers of the parliament are being overrun by something that is alien, that is not within our constitution being overrun by something beyond. So what is supposed to govern our nation? The office of the president, she is supposed to represent by her mandate in the constitution. She has to represent what the people say. People just think our president just have a what they call a figurehead role.
Yeah.
The president don't run the army just for a what they call a figurehead role. No. I more watch it like that. Look like a if you want a puppet president, that is a puppet president. But a real president is the one who is the commander and chief of the armed forces that protect the country. So that when things like, let's say, the police commission have a lot of corruption going on with it, and the commissioner of police, it have bacchanal with licensing for firearms, household having 13 firearms while it are men waiting for 10 years can't get one. Right? And then we have a switch over with a commissioner of police that I love her, bless her heart so much, but she preach better than she police. And it's not her fault. What more you want her to do when the SSA, we have something called a SSA, like some kind of secret service Trinidad thing. You know, as a youth, right? We in our 30s, so 20, 30 years. We have no voice as a youth. I am going to speak for the whole country, but I can say for youths, like, I've gone to police, right? We've worked, big up Johnny Bravo one time, 1,000,000 times, big up Johnny Bravo.
All the time.
1,000,000 times, all the time, right? You know what, let me pull it to this Trinidad thing one time, right? Because the reality is, the reality that we live in is a manifestation of what our forefathers, the sins of our fathers, you know, that's why we can't pass the sins of our fathers on to our children, you know. That's why we had to stop the buck here. We had to draw the line and say, we need to stand up and make our voices be heard. And if 2025 is around the corner, it has to be heard by the ballot box, but it must be heard in unison. If we could understand that we have a shared fight, big up Johnny Bravo, because that's how we help be able to bring the peace between the Rasta and the Muslim, right? A 13-year gang war, well, what they call gang. It's not gang in Trinidad. It have literal communities trying to survive. Just like how Abu Bakr would have went and committed a citizen's arrest. That's all it really was. People calling it a coup, but it was really just a citizen's arrest. He had guns, he was armed, because they had to be. Yeah, it had stuff going on. But that's just reality. It was a citizen's arrest. He had a point, or else he wouldn't walk free, God bless his soul, to the day that he reached back with the Almighty. How else would your father walk free? Who you know in this world could take over a country and then walk free? But he didn't walk free just so he had to fight for his freedom all the way down.
Well,
there.
you asking questions again. I, as a youth, the amount of questions
but
I
no, but
ask
we have
myself
to- we
and
have
nobody
to, we
never
have to bring
explained to
logic
me.
into the picture. Logically, by law, it must mean internationally.
Yeah,
This man have a point.
yeah,
Okay? If he gets some kind of amnesty or whatever, he have a point though.
yeah.
Right? And it's
More than a point,
the
he's
shit
right.
so stink in Trinidad. The shit so stink
Mhm.
that we just had to let this slide and just, all they just go back to just being Trinidad, right? Let me just. All
Did
right?
we ever go back?
We never
Because
went back.
people
We just
say
went
after the
straight
coup,
criminal after
that was
bro.
it. That was it.
Um,
They say the coup poisoned the nation.
no.
Basically, a lot of people, say these things like growing up at
No,
Taiwan.
no, I mean even statistically,
Yeah.
that's not true. So for a long while thereafter, Trinidad and Tobago
The
was
crime rate only
was
skyrocketing
low.
over the past 10 years.
But they say that after the coup, it kind of bring attention to the place now. Everybody get, like, well,
No, well if we
it's a bad man nation, boy.
no if
The
we,
kind of thing going on there.
if we pay attention to what the sentiments of the society was
Right.
around 89, 88,
Mhm.
we was in a real bad place economically.
Right.
We had structural adjustment. Is when VAT and all these things now come in.
Right. Oh,
When cost of living,
yeah.
tax and now coming PAY, those things was eaten away at a man's salary now. And
Right.
the people was upset.
Oh.
We had a downturn in our economy.
So the place was basically very tense at
Very,
that time.
very
Extremely tense.
very
It was an
tense.
economic
Yeah.
recession that
Yeah.
we were going.
Right. And all those factors contribute. So I had a sociology teacher when I went to Elders for about 2 years to do my A's. And he say, boy, it was just a matter who was going on bell the cat now. Bell the cat as in who going on hold them now.
Yeah.
Everybody protesting, vexed, everybody
Yeah.
frustrated. People hopes was disappointed with NAR. Right?
Right.
Politically with the situation, I could break up and all kind of thing. Pandy and Robinson.
Right.
And I could do the little maths and thing that time. What happened now?
Right.
So people had voted for something new, National Alliance for Reconstruction, this new entity,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't work out. Instead, it's more licks they was getting now. So people was clamoring as well. At that point in time, Crow, the Calypsonian sing,
Right.
say a prayer for Abu Bakr now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're taking the song, and he
Right.
actually, the video is on YouTube as well.
Right.
He record singing the song on Independence Square where
Yeah.
Salvatore building is,
Yeah.
where it's a rubble in the background from the looting and thing.
Yeah.
And he sit down and something singing and a crowd around him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And when he done, everybody cheering. Correct. Say a prayer for Abu Bakr.
Yeah.
You understand? Because the reality was,
Mm-hmm.
and the people knew at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And what they tried to do is, after that, they had to give his story now.
Right.
Not history,
Yeah.
His story.
Mm.
And we need to be educated. So
We
one
need
of
our
our
story.
one of our great writers explained to us that the conqueror always writes history. Whoever end up in control will write
But right,
history for you.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because he in charge of the books, he in charge of our school.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, I don't want to go into World War II and all of that, whatever, but if Hitler won, Hitler, not Hitler
Yeah,
alone, because
yeah.
Hitler had alliances with Japan, Italy, whoever, right? Turkey, whatever, right? If they won, the books that we would be thinking is that whoever
Yeah.
else is the bad guys, they
Correct.
used to do this, they used to do that.
Correct.
I believe we'd be watching Japanese
Yeah.
entertainment now, you know? Yeah.
Right? Whoever is victorious writes a story. And he going and write a story saying that his enemy is so bad and he is so great.
Yeah.
Right? We live in the West, and again, social media and the power of social media. Imagine America could want to ban an app, TikTok. Imagine that.
Yeah. Why?
Where they talk about freedom of expression, the home of the free liberty and whatever, right? They want to ban an app. because the Chinese thing and they do have control over the data. Right? That's how powerful ideas and truth is. So we in the West, we go see one thing. If you're listening to CNN, Fox News, you hear one thing. And if you listen to Al Jazeera, RT, or some other news agency, you hear a whole different story about the same thing.
Yeah.
And then you in the middle wondering, when I read a book, I just read about the author.
Yeah.
And I don't want what the author say about himself.
Yeah. What people say about you.
I want to hear what other people say about you. And everything I just take with a pinch of salt. Because if I write in a book and they go out real good things about me, if I had to say something about the coup and whatever, right?
Right.
What perspective I give them?
The greatest perspective ever.
But then is where you try to find justice even within yourself. So I still try to be fair.
Right.
So I could understand an ex-man perspective. I
Yeah.
could understand Ian R. Robinson at that point in time. He's prime minister, he has power, and he don't want to let it go. So whatever he had to do, he had to do. And people becoming Muslims in good droves, right? And the status quo of the society have a certain programming already. And they don't like this new program. And they see an organization and a man becoming strong or too strong and whatever, and they decide, I could understand. 'Cause you gotta look at things every way. You gotta have that mindset where you look at things from a broad perspective. I could understand as a young man, making his way through the society politically as well, where people would try to discourage you. And I've had that experience already.
Before you go into that though, that discouraged part, let me take a little break and we'll come back. Boom.
Boom shot.
Yeah man, back again. So being the son of Abu Bakr, right, and doing the type of work that you do, within the streets, within the communities, even I sure you deal with a lot of higher people, Is it an advantage or a disadvantage as in the sense of, people will say whatever they want to say, but I need to deal with certain people, obviously. The coup was a big thing. So it's like, do you deal with people thinking just like your father, wherever they think your father was, a terrorist, all these different things that they throw at this man? Do you deal with that as his son coming up in your life?
Well, to be honest, for most of the leaders within the society, they know the truth in it.
Right. So everybody know the real truth of the matter. And you think that so you don't bounce up people that would see you and let me say for instance when you was going to school and thing. It had many say, don't go wrong here and I will back our son or
well, yeah.
was it a benefit or a disadvantage? Like how was it as his son
The
basically?
kids my father used to say, what is this? RHP, rank as its privilege.
Right.
Just on that kicks and things. So,
Yeah.
you'll get your respect.
Yeah.
But it's not so much about fear.
But was it ever a disadvantage? Like was it ever
a disadvantage?
to the point where people probably don't even want to deal with you because of who your father is?
For sure, it would have its challenges. But we're resilient, so whatever it is, we make our minus into a positive,
Yeah.
We don't foster.
Yeah.
And even if I'm still want to deal with you,
Yeah.
I respect.
Yeah.
You understand?
And then
I think
Yeah.
something you see there, watch this, right? Pure respect.
Yeah, if I'm still want to deal with
Yeah,
you,
because
I respect.
yeah.
But forgive them because maybe they don't know.
Yeah.
And that's among the average.
I was saying because
person
most
who
people
might
might
be-
have the misconception of like Abu Bakr was a scary man.
It might have some little element of fear, but for me, I have more experience, love.
Right.
Like among maybe the middle class who and it really are no middle class again.
Right.
But a small sector who don't know, who never interacted. But in Trinidad, so small now. Maybe among them, maybe among those who felt whatever, or who take the chain up, because it had a chain up in the society now. You know, they promote whatever negative propaganda for you to stay away and whatever.
Right.
But the people in Trinidad and Tobago, the communities, the poor people,
Yeah, the
or
ground.
the ground,
Yeah.
the ground know.
What?
Yeah,
what-
they know
Yeah,
what
the
going.
ground know what it is.
What it really
Yeah.
was.
And the ground have full respect, you know, and I go,
Yeah.
still I benefit from that
Yeah.
respect. I mean, I tried a little bit, a little thing myself, but I tried on some, you know, some real foundation that has been laid,
Yeah.
you know, and as men, that's what we have to do too. We have to lay the foundation of love and works now. So I just put in that work. I just
Yeah.
help anybody, anywhere, anything
Yeah.
I could do, whatever I could
Build your
do.
respect up. I think people don't really understand that too. Like,
Build it.
I do an interview the other day on a radio station, and he asked me a question, and he was like, how one man in a community could be fed by everybody now. So he was talking about the community leaders, you know, in the communities, and I had to really explain to him that when they give respect, you will get respect, and don't just watch a boss or whatever you want to call it and feel the people and them just fair he. It's not really fair. It's respect he. Because sometimes that the only man that you could go to for something when you don't have nothing.
And
Imagine
there's a
you
flip
asking
side.
everybody for something and nobody don't want to help you. You understand?
There's
So
also
as
a
you
flip
say,
side.
you have to build your respect.
There's also a flip side. I mean, we all know, and this way I say we could touch on it we could jump a little bit in the past and then come to the future, to where we are, which is the Trinidad and then the future, right? And so a little bit in the past, someone would go, no, all right, guys, if you're a young one, know certain things about your culture. Carnival, where carnival come from? The Canbule riots. What was Canbule riots? They took away our drum. They took away the drum. The drum is the first instrument ever made by humanity, yeah? And the last instrument ever made by humanity is the steel pan, right?
That is
Which
a
is the
fact.
steel drum, right?
That's
So
a fact.
that is a fact. You can look it up,
All right.
right? The hand pan has been basically created by is an innovation of the steel pan from a Swedish innovator. Now, if you see how far the hand pan as an instrument is going,
You talk about
Right.
real information. You know?
yeah, but my father was a
know,
lawyer.
full of information.
Was a lawyer, you know.
Yeah.
My dad had multiple sclerosis, so he had to end his career early. So I grew up a lot. My father, he had to end his career early, so I was like the one. My dad had 7 kids. I was the one who would listen to him lecture. So I have a real good audiographic memory, and so the gift of that with, you know, I mean, as I say, I'm an artist too. Go by his Prince, Trinidad Apache. The Apache, Trinidad Apache side are going to start to do some spoken words, some things where, you know, the emotion of a killer, you know, the emotion of the people on the street, bro. When you sit with them, when you understand a killer, a man who does rob and steal, you feel them want to do that? They just have to become something they do not want to. They have to become that to commit the act that they need to do
deeper than the
to
physical.
survive.
It's deeper than the physical. It's deeper than the physical.
You dig? Them
It's not-
have
yeah.
to manifest a demon.
It's
Them
not a
have to
physical
become a
thing.
demon because
It's a-
it's not human to
Correct.
do
It's
what
a
them have to
spiritual
do.
thing,
dog.
and it's also an emotional thing, and it's also a mental thing.
And then and it's
right,
also
yeah.
them had to be
Yeah,
forced
yeah,
into
yeah,
that.
yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah.
forced into it, king. And on top of that, you have no guidance. And on top, when we talk about the leaders, right? A lot of people wanna burn down the leaders and the community leaders and the gangs and all of this. Well, we don't know what the government doing. Nothing. Well, we don't know that. But as a leader now, you have people suffering from mental illness. All right, what they say, a hungry man is what? Not a angry man. So make a man hungry for like carrot on a stick living for 20, 30 years and multiply that man by a couple thousand people in a community. What you think you want to get?
emasculate a man. Take away any semblance of power, any semblance of self-worth. Game next to nothing as education.
They're creating animals.
When you say give him next to nothing as education, what do you mean by that?
As you go through a system and
We not taught how to make money.
Right.
but no. You learn to read, you don't learn to read.
Yeah.
That's your business.
That's your business. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Your parents don't care. Your parents don't
so
care
come
about
again
you.
studying the effects of what coming out
this
of that
what we
now,
see.
of not caring if a man
How
can.
Your
many people
parents
know
don't care about
because
you.
they don't pay attention
Correct,
in
people
school.
don't nobody cool. Youths don't nobody cool. Why?
KG, your parents don't care about you. We don't really care about you. You come from nowhere. You ain't really nobody, and you're going to a nothing school. And if you can't swim in this, throw you in the deep, you know. If you
Yeah.
can't swim, well, you're what going on.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Suffer.
Suffer.
Yeah.
And then, like I said the other day, and then we turn around and we blame that product, and we say kill it. Like
So
we
that-
create
that-
Frankenstein, right?
yes,
Like we
yes,
create
yes.
it.
Create it, yeah.
We creating Frankenstein every day as a society, right? Sewing them up, ting.
Yeah.
Putting in the evil wherever.
Yeah.
And then when Frankenstein get off the bed
Yeah. We
and
vex.
start to destroy and thing,
Yeah. We vex.
kill Frankenstein. Like if Frankenstein make himself. And when men like Earth and Als at least say it's a bandit factory we creating in Trinidad. Because if you don't give opportunity, you don't educate properly, you set the wrong examples in the society, then we're going to turn out.
Now, this is a real point, eh? He says a bandit factory. Now, in a real sense, we're actually creating a gunman factory. Literally. As in, if you know how many killers it have in these streets, like you know how much people toting souls, so if you know how much kids, you know how much people just have bodies on them just because they just wanted to prove a point. They just wanted to be that, you know what I mean? And it's become a culture now. Now when people listen Trinidad and the disc culture and you know, I believe that you know, DJ Pon, big up DJ Pon one time. I remember when the first inception of Trinidad, Pon had told me Castagne, we had to do something for Trinidad. And this was after about enough time passed by now, but I had done a whole proposal for punching. Right, and they took my stuff and we were the artists, and it was supposed to sub time. You pay for time on the radio and you get some artists play, some high risk artists, people from different areas. You get a play, you know what I mean. And they just kind of ran with the idea, and then they just kind of cut everybody off after some time, and then that's how you hear Rionel, Bon Hard Wine and them kind of things. Is I write the proposals and man. The whole point was like, after all of that, we ain't getting nothing. Chronic, what's this guy? Who does rap?
Connects?
Yes, no, not Chronics. Trinidad. Chromatics. Gosh, boy.
Yeah.
Chromatics. Big up Chromatics one time. He's such a veteran and such a warrior for the culture. Warrior for the culture and for the future and for the youths, bro. Chromatics is one of those men. Pun is one of those men. I is one of those men. KG is one of those men. Rion Elbon's one of those men. They have few men who really help who actually are real artists, who's real artists, who give up their thing to try and push youths forward.
Let me tell you something, eh? As
Yeah,
you say
you
that,
go.
I want to cut you, but as you say that, I think that right now, just by observing what's going on right now with the thing, we have the most set of young men that trying their best to change the narrative now.
Yes.
Boy. Growing up, you never really used to see that
No.
in the streets now. You know, it would be more up there, something that you can't really reach now. Now, dog, it have a
And
lot
I
of.
feel like if
you
we
know?
men like you,
Yeah.
if we only pull our guard now,
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
is complete chaos.
Look at how three of us sit down right here.
Yeah, and
They
the
three
only
powerful men here, you know.
Yeah, the only reason we
Don't
sit
get
down
tired.
here It's
Understand?
because of what is happening in
Correct,
the country
correct,
now.
correct.
We have to discuss this in an open way where the public could understand this. We had to chop this up into little TikTok skits and whatever we could, just chop up whatever pieces and put it out as the information. This is why we're sitting down here, because we have to understand that our community has been overrun with ideologies and philosophies that are not even us. People who call themselves Rasta or Muslim, they don't really read the surahs, read the Bible, read the Torah, read the Quran, read it. Tell me, what do you understand? They plenty of them don't even never even pick it up. All right, some
As you
people
say
just,
that, as you say
know,
that now.
and now we have
As you
numbers.
say that now.
Let me just bring it deeper. Now
But
we
no, but I
talking
don't want to
about
come off that
numbers.
point. I don't want to come off that point because this point
Go
is
ahead,
more
go ahead.
important than any point we could talk about here
Make
tonight. We talk about leaders, that is the word that we just give them. I being real with you, I is a spiritual person, I do play with that, and I don't see my leaders practicing that God thing now. I don't hear them really, and this not just goes for Trinidad. I personally find that a lot of people who claim that they are leaders do not
Across the
really
world.
push the spirituality
No.
narrative now.
No.
Now, let me just say you, again, in the near future, you become the Prime Minister, right?
Bakr 2025.
Yeah.
Bakr 2025, like our Obama,
Is it that
that'll be
you
bad.
would push a lot of that as a leader? Like how we don't really see it. Like, I mean, everything is politics now. Like, all that's come out these fellas' mouth.
Yeah.
Like, would you be that type of leader where you would push more God into the.
So conceptually, as a man, as a Muslim, as an aspiring leader, as a leader in my own right in different
Correct.
ways as well,
Mm-hmm.
you are led by something. You're led by a philosophy,
Right.
right? It always have above you
Mm-hmm.
and God above me.
Correct.
And it is in that recognition that I walk and I live. So my principles and my philosophy are based on an understanding of a higher.
You feel like leaders or politicians, the reason why they don't push spirituality too much is because, let's just say, for instance, you're a Muslim, it are Hindus are voting for you, Catholics are voting for you, all different walks of life. You feel they might be like, nah, he's a Muslim, I can't vote for him. Because that is really how people is.
Now on the
look
contrary,
at the
there's
thing.
mama guy the thing do KG. So before election on a Sunday, before Monday, probably you go in a church.
Right.
So,
You see them kind of thing, yeah.
Miss Bissessa say she's a Hindu Baptist,
Yeah.
right? And then you
Yeah.
go see Rowley in the mosque too with Ita John.
Yeah.
So that you take get all the groups.
Bro, you see this
You see them
this
play their
asset
game.
So that was saying, so you know as a
politics.
Muslim now, if you feel like it'll be hard because I know you's a man, you weren't putting your faith behind for nothing.
No,
You
but
understand?
no, but they are devoid of faith.
What do you mean?
It's a game. They don't have no faith.
But
It's
you
just
have
a
a faith.
game.
That was
But
saying. So you not going and
I believe,
yeah.
but my understanding of the Creator is the Creator of all things.
Right.
And is a goodness to all of mankind. You
It's
understand?
not a religion thing.
Is not. It's to unite. Religion, you know each other and respect each other. It's not a matter of you celebrate and you connect with your commonalities. All of we believe, thou shalt not kill. All of we believe, thou shalt not steal. All of we believe certain principles that's supposed to guide us. Well, I'm saying all who really believe in
Yeah.
a creator, right? But we have a set of people who faking it. They fake it for the votes or the wherever, right? They fake it because, the church is a powerful thing in Trinidad. And
Remember, when it's a corrupt society, if you're in power, then it's like it's more like a turn to eat. That's how they look at it. It's like it's my turn now. Yay.
but everybody's serving something. I don't know what them serving. All
I'm
they had
not
to
saying.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, let me say
All
something
they had to
now.
figure
Hello,
out,
wait.
brother.
Hey, Trinidad and Tobago, Trinidad
I
and
know
Tobago.
why serving.
It have something happening in our country right now. Why it have 18 babies? Rest in peace. Condolences to all the families. I am a father of a child that I lost a child in the same general hospital, right? Me and my wife back in 2022, a full-term pregnancy because the machines weren't working properly, and and you know up to now we still, hey, give us the coroner's report now, you could do that, still can't get that. Yeah, that is facts. I'm telling you straight. The head nurse from North Health Regional, they call me, and I'm talking, and I'm here. We will give you your documents. Never got that stuff yet. Never got a call. They never tell me if the autopsy nothing. All right, cool. I gave it up. I said let God do His thing, and the truth came out. Now look what happened. 2 years later, 18, 11, and then the numbers just going up like it's a joke, and people adding on, and it's like, how? Why are we in a country where babies are dying? And it's like, oh, 11 died today, oh, 7 more tomorrow. Wait, what? And there's a state-of-the-art children's hospital facility, but we have babies dying.
What causing that?
Wait. I
want to know.
I now start. Corruption is the answer for everything. We know that. That is the answer. Right? We know that is if you want to make sense out of nonsense, sense out of chaos in Trinidad and Tobago, corruption is the word. Because corruption is when you take what is this. Okay, if I say this is a watch, right? And the time it's telling right now, the correct time it's telling, all right, this is 12 or whatever, right? And I'm selling you for that. Corruption, that might even be a watch. I'm selling you a watch telling time and thing, but by the time you get it, it not even.
It's not even that.
It might just disappear in your hand. That's how dread corruption is. You, for instance, you have some $5 billion for the youth. They have $5 billion for youth. Guys, please, somebody tell me. All you see $5 billion for youth spending anywhere in Trinidad and Tobago. Somebody tell me if all you see $5 billion spent anyway. Right? I ain't know about all you. I was some of that money.
I seen it. They're doing all kind of programs for show, you know, because they're the fool.
What kind of program? What
They're
kind of
the
program?
fool.
$5 billion
But
worth.
what program? What program?
$5 billion.
All you want to say programs for show.
$5 billion.
Programs for show. It's not to really reach and to uplift, you know.
Right.
It's the
Let me
the
tell
money
you
had to spend because somebody had to get the money somehow.
Let me get them the solution to crime. Solution to crime. We have 200 police youth clubs. Yeah, nearly 200 police youth clubs. We have facilities all over the country in all the high-risk areas, in all the strategic locations nationwide. We have a SOS, Save Our Service. Me know why we have to save the police service. Why it name SOS? Why it Save Our Service? It should be Save Our Children. It should be Save Our Community. It should be Save Our People. Right? So we have all these different mechanisms. It is there. We need to use it. We have corporations. We have things called corporate social responsibility. Where is your responsibility, corporate Trinidad? 600 people dead last year. Where is your responsibility in helping us alleviate that? Because they're buying a lot of punching and then killing each other. That's facts. And I'm asking you, I'm telling you. Go on every big up Christmas list one time. How much time Christmas had to say, oh man, not that punching, man. Oh, it's too much. It's too strong, man. We love punching, but punching, go on and advertising on a rampage to the ghetto, right? And get the ghetto buy into them. And Shanika, what going on? I went to school with her, the brand manager.
Shanika,
shine up bright and nice and early. Yeah, 4 or 5 years later, they never give me my money yet. Yeah, I charge 300,000. I tell all they give me my money. I go do over punching and hard wine fair. I go do the social media. Da. Shanika Williams and Melissa Clark. Yeah. Statute of limitations pass on NDA, so don't even talk to me about that because I in charge all it on what you do. But now I go shiny up. So Angostura, my grandfather, Pat Castagne, he have big history with Angostura. So if we have a moral and an ethical code in this country, Angostura sort all this stuff out with that because the ghetto has been supporting all you. And we come up with the plan. Trinidad started because we get fed up. We didn't get no money. I come to Pan and say, Pan, what going on? Pan said, don't worry, calm down. I have an idea. He said, I know them and I have an idea. Calm down. All is killing everything. He said, let's just put all of them on. He said, dog, everybody just want to sing and diss each other. They will never go on a stage together, but I'm going to put them on one thing together and we go and call it Trinidad. I say, all right, cool. He's like, I don't have a mic though. All right, I have a mic. I run home for my mic, come back. Trinidad was born. The next day, I fall asleep while they making the mix. Big up Renzo. Renzo could call on, come, last one call. Whoops, Renzo on shot. Bam, Trinidad was done, right? And that was it. And look where we reach now, guys. But when people like DJ Pun and Renzo and myself, I'm so proud of young brother because I walk into Sealots with Bravo and we boss young brother. I could tell you that. He had 2,300 followers when I met him. When Bravo came in and we just stand up right there, and then she see him, we make some calls and certain things, bam, boss shot. Swanee give my little thanks. I didn't even know we call shots for real. We do things, man. We do things. Rion L1, the whole assign next. Thank you is something, you know what I mean? Thank you is something to your brothers, bro. You understand? People who do things for you. Whatever part people take and how far you reach, I don't vex with nobody how you reach. I love how Swanee reached so far because he show every ghetto youth, look how far you could get. But in reality, ghetto youths, you cannot be using people to reach somewhere because you're burning the bridge for the man behind you. And it hurting people. It hurting. We ain't trying to be gunmen who all want to play gunman and who want to run down and kill each other. What about the men? What about this DJ who was killed when they come after K-Man? Like, why the DJ had to dead? Why the men and them who literally trying to help all you go from the streets to the, to stardom? Why them fellas had to dead? Like, what going on? Like, we had to have rules again. We need to have codes. Honor. We need to have honor in the streets again. Right? We as the youths need to man up. We need to actually do some research. We need to wake up. Stop pilsing up. Stop Zaza. One of my boys in Florida all Zaza. Stop zazzing up. You know what I'm saying? Meditate. Understand what your mind, the power, your mind, bro. This thing between your ears here have so much potential, King. Look at what it do with the steel pan, with slavery. We come away with slavery, bro. Tambu bamboo, steel pan lead to calypso. Calypso is the first genre of music that went pop. The first genre of pop music is calypso. Rum and Coca-Cola hit 1 million streams. America branded it as pop music. All of a sudden, before it had Elvis Presley, it had calypso. Go and look and do your history. 1950s, it was calypso bands in the US, not rock bands. Do your history. Who you think make Elvis Presley wag his hips so? Who was wagging the hips? Who you think wag the hips? Who does wag the hips? Who does wag the hips? Come on. Calypso in your hands.
Man, we're passionate about your culture too.
We go and carry it forward. I'm going to give you the history lesson. Go forward, right? They understand the power of Calypso. Calypso helped liberate black people. My grandfather was known as the Baylor. They traveled to London. You want to know the power of the Caribbean in London? Our West Indian fighters is who rule the skies and shoot all Hitler men out the skies. We was the gunmen they needed in the skies. Facts.
So why just open a class and they don't teach the youths and they know?
Daisy class, bro.
I know you just do your work in the streets too, but we need more men like yourself to bring the information.
Nobody want to give me the funding, bro.
We don't need the funding. Like we do. Look, I do in our podcast right now by myself. Me don't care about nobody. Right now, I set a companies right now talking about they want to sponsor me and me can't get no money yet. But me not stopping. I have to do my thing. I
respect that. That's why we here. That's why we here, because we had to make it happen. We had to be real with one another. We had to make it happen. My grandfather write the anthem. We never got sent for it because he gave all the royalties to the country. As soon as people hear that, all who ball write the anthem went. They never write the anthem again. My grandfather, everybody who ball, I write the anthem too. We didn't make no money from it. Where the money? It went to the nation. It's the nation's own. Oh well, we didn't. I thought you write the anthem too. Where you going? But the people who were part of the making of the anthem, from what I hear, and it was in a house, and I'm gonna find out more about it because I believe everybody needs to get acclamation. This culture of one king and the goat, and that's not human, you know. We's Ubuntu, you know. Our we are tribe, we are people. We need to care for the group, you know. As I say, is the body. When the body have an open wound, it is hurt. It is hurt. You can't do nothing. You had to deal with that. That's where we reach in Trinidad and Tobago now.
Oh, it could kill you.
It will kill you, but that's why it's paining you, because if it don't pain you, you wouldn't be aware of it and you will dead.
If you ignore your toe, simple as your toe is with some gangrene. If you ignore your toe, guess what?
Bob Marley.
Over time,
Yeah.
you going to perish because of your toe. Right? And the who we may think as the least among us, that is we base, that is who we are one. There's a thread that runs through every single human being. And we have to respect one another. We have to love one another. Right? In our book it say, if you take the life of one person unjustly, it's as though you take the life of all of mankind.
No lie.
Understand the heights. And like you were saying earlier, even the spiritual aspect of our society, something wrong,
Wrong.
bad.
Too much people
Yeah,
dying,
right.
too much bloodshed. Why blood so normal for we? Oh, let's stop and watch our sunset. Stop watch and watch bodies on the road. Stop taping all of the phone. Stop and watch our sunset. Go and watch the moon. Go and take your train to the beach.
And there's always get licks for this kind of way thing because people fed up with the crime and whatever. So even today, I had to take issue because they come talking about 4 men they kill in St. Augustine somewhere
Yeah.
because they are suspects
Yeah.
in the kidnapping.
What is this story?
And people going and celebrate
They
that.
have
none.
I
Just
don't
take
know.
that. Yeah.
I don't know if them is really who responsible.
Okay.
Exactly.
I don't know if them is just the men who do the
Yeah.
actual wherever.
How we
I don't know who's the mastermind. I don't know if the mastermind
That
just
case
going
has
and
wiped out there.
use 4 other
Yeah.
youths
So we
to
solve
kidnap
nothing
somebody else. It's the same way like
The man who fall
Andrea
off a chair.
Barrett
Yeah,
and
yeah.
who fall off a
Fall off
chair.
a chair and dead.
And two people die. I can't celebrate that.
What can Drake tell Drake? They're not slow. The people, we're not slow like that no more.
Right, boy, we had to
We had to pick
speed
it up.
and we had to get up to the times because that is not good enough. You understand? That is not really, because we want the problem to solve. We want youth men to understand that, nah boys, love, I can't do that. We want people to stop using the youth, advantaging the youth.
Yeah.
Because you know nothing, I could send you to do anything because you desperate. You're
well,
desperate. You're not so quick. I telling you that some youths who not really so, they're not 100 functional
Yeah.
for whatever reason and
literally
circumstance.
Yeah, they're mentally unstable.
Some of them, they're not mentally developed.
All that.
Yeah.
You know.
And
What
men,
you was saying.
a man
Yeah.
will use, and you just gonna run up in the whoop, 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 blue whatever and gun he down.
Yeah.
But the man who using he, you and the man who using he, all you sharing up the money or whatever.
Oh.
Or he running the block for all you or whatever, and etc. and whatever. Corrupt. That is not what we want within this society. Everybody could live. You see this theory of greed and selfishness that are running what they call this kind of capitalist society.
Consumerism.
Materialism. Where a man gonna and value a car over a man's life.
Over his brother life.
Over he brother boy, we grew up with,
He grew up with.
share Milo with, laugh and play in the yard and climb tree
I
and
see it
pick
many
mango.
times.
Yes, bro.
So I can't even say a lie. Because I see it with my own eye.
We gonna and swallow that poison pill
Then we
and
want
give
to
up
go-
love. And give up love for a car,
Yeah.
a metal box.
Yeah. A chain.
Jeez and ages.
Serious.
So,
But anyway, that's now.
we go through.
Before, well, say what I say.
Well, I was just now what I was saying was moving it forward because as we think, I wanna keep the history lesson or the we story lesson moving forward, not a his story. Let me try and make it we story.
Yeah.
You dig? Because we still ain't got the whole story. We still had to add who missing. Because people missing in the story whenever we had to add. The truth is that which cannot be conflicted. Alright? So if somebody commit a crime, if a minister do something wrong or thief our money and create a commission to tell him that he didn't do nothing wrong and we don't have a problem with that, then something definitely wrong with us. Because at this point in time, the powers that be could literally in front of our face kill 7 divers underneath the ocean and then be like, the queen go send on people and then they'll be like, no chairs and tables for you. Yeah. And then when you saw that, and then when they get their stuff together, and after the whole commission, the inquiry, everything what we all knew when it was happening, the guys was alive, everything, the whole country feel them and under the water, dog. Everybody feel them and was alive, dog. When they say, the coroner said, they're saying, oh, they were dead on Saturday. But I telling you, Sunday, I couldn't sleep. Everybody could feel, but I swear I know. You know, it is to know. Men, right there, right now, stuck, right there. America, that's how men all where I have a brethren, Hooks, right? Tattoo man, big up, he tattoo my head. That man had his brain coming out his freaking skull, bro. His brain coming out his skull. His organs was outside his body from a car accident in Texas. They scoop him up. Once he had blood flow between his brain and his heart, you're alive. They scoop him up in pieces. His hip was turned this way, organs pelting that way. Them had to pull him up together, scoop him up, fly him to hospital, and he alive today, normal, walking around normal. So, why we living in us? Why they have so much technology to do all these different things, but we can't do the most basic, simplest thing, like just make sure youths going to school. You know, right now in my area, I seen youths not going to school. It's alarming me now. I seen youths walking barefoot. And then we're going with you. Where you not in school? I don't have no fun, no money, boy. If you get that money today, them ain't going to school with that money. Them going and eat with that money because they ain't have food. But we have $5 billion for youth. As I said, where is it? Moving forward with the music now, right? When we look at what happened with Bob Marley, it's a big thing. I go in Jamaica for this very reason. Bob Marley, we don't understand how big Bob Marley really was, you know. Think about it this way. Michael Jackson, the Beatles, them kind of names. Well, Prince, Lionel Richie, Rick James. None of them had nothing on Bob Marley when he was alive.
Nah, Bob, he's the greatest.
Nobody had. That man break a record. He performed for how much? Like 1 million people in 5 days or something, so? Like hundreds of thousands of people. Walks of life. Went to Africa, helped liberate a country. Yo. And everything what that man sing, we grew up on. And then we are singing this Trinidad, but only in one sense. We not really. We say what bad mean all kind of thing, but we only stuck in one zone. It was like soca and rag and flag for a while. We were stuck in rag and flag. We was in a kind of Iowa zone for a while. Big up Iowa, but Iowa, water. We was in a one zone for a while. We need some creativity. We need an injection. You know what I'm saying?
Until the philosophy that makes one people superior and another inferior is totally and finally discredited and abandoned, everywhere is war.
No
I
doubt.
mean, the messages that Bob would have given us in his music, you know, where the messages in the music, word, sound, and power. Music is a powerful thing, and whoever controlling it, we have to understand the power that we have and what we could do with it. It could guide and it could uplift.
It could do great things.
Or it could bring me down.
Or it could destroy.
And destroy.
That's it.
You know, so I mean, I don't kick nothing. Like you say, bad does mean all kind of thing. You know, in Trini culture,
bad.
a real bad boy. And sneakers real bad. We really mean it real good.
That's what thing said.
Or, you know what I mean?
But where is the messages? And here we speaking about the reality in some songs, but we seeing, but where maybe you don't have no dreams or it have no hopes. So who's singing about the hope or the future? Or where we want it to be? Not just the reality that we seeing, or not the worst of what we seeing. Because like you say, sometimes we focus on the negative you go tape the accident.
Mhm.
But like yesterday, I put up a picture. When last you look at the moon was full.
Correct.
It out before it
Yeah.
dark,
You focus on
and it was
negative too
right
much.
on top of the hill, Laventille.
Yeah.
Right.
And I lift up two of my daughters to watch it, and I was like, yeah, boy, looking well. But where's the focus on the beauty too now?
Yeah, man.
Because Trinidad is
Beautiful.
real beauty
Yeah.
as well, and where's the direction to that beauty now?
Yeah.
So we have a great responsibility.
Yeah.
KG,
Yeah.
right? All
Before we
these
leave,
veterans
before
now,
we
you know.
wrap up, you know, we have to wrap up, but at the same time, I wanted to leave a quick message specifically for the youths. You know, 'cause more youths watching this show, right? And we want them to gain something from this idea.
I get a directive from Pons, right? But I don't know how we will do this, but I end up writing a track, right? I have it on my phone now, boy.
Yeah.
You know this song, what real hot right now? I ain't never represent, baby. Oh, that's what again.
You know.
You know
Rasi
that
go
song?
no, he
He
listen to them
dancing
flicks.
one boy with
Me
it.
listen to them
Dancing
flicks.
on-
Me
TikTok
listen to them
dog.
flicks, brother.
Him not listen
He
to
TikTok.
Me listen to them flicks.
Wait. You must know the beat. I go and play the beat first.
My feet
Brother.
kind of different. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
get my feet kind of different.
But what about it though? What about it though?
Right.
But using
No,
this song as
listen.
a background song now, boy.
Ah,
So
right. Now listen, right? The like what you saw what Kendrick Lamar did with his song "Not Like Us."
Right.
He took away the royalties, the royalty hold on it. So all of us, you, me, we could remix that track right now and make money from it.
Yeah.
Right? That's revolutionary, right? With what it is with this track, it don't have that, but I was thinking of it like from the 50 Cent approach, where I don't want no royalties. I'll do it for promotion. I'll do it to make a point, right? Right now is the happiest song in the world, literally. Look it up. I can't remember. It is $1 Million Baby. That the name of the song, $1 Million Baby, right? And in the song he's saying, I never rep a set. I know right from wrong. So I never rep a gang. I know right from wrong. I could clean up good, baby. You know what I mean? I could clean up good for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm $1 million baby. That song now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, I heard that beat was real bad. And I write some real bad because the inspiration too was Kendrick. You know when you hear Kendrick say
Everything rolling right, cameraman.
Yeah.
Everything rolling still right.
everything, bro. You know Kendrick mash up when he started hit them bars. It's like everybody's like, boy, Kendrick sleeping in this track or whatever, nah. And just so he just wake up out and start of
Right.
up everything. So that's the inspiration that when people look at Swanee, you know, I come from the studio. I was part of Sinex, Create Your Next Expression, right? That was me, Rion Elbon, Muffler, Swanee, Kevy Beats, Chady Beats. You know, these is men who literally, when you look at the beginning of Trinidad, when you look at men who K-Lion and Rebel 6 and in the earlys, everybody came from the same studio, bro.
Right.
Hits came from the same studio. So why look at how a couple years on now, how much of them dead, how much people, you know what I'm saying, the bloodshed, all of this madness, right? It's really because where it started, what we started with, and what the purpose of it, what it was for, we never really got to manifest that as a team. You know, big up Muffler, Swanee, everybody. But we never really got to manifest that because of the oppression of the industry. Where you can't bust unless you're singing soca, and you can't bust in soca unless you're rocking with that one or this one or whoever. You know what I mean? And you can't get no performance, and it's just a lot of can'ts. Blacks told me before he passed RIP, Blacks, big one. But he told me, he said, son, you're not going to make it in Trinidad. He said, I have to dead before I see you make it without you singing soca. And well, he passed away. And literally when he passed away was when Trinidad and Zest had bus. You know what I'm saying? Which was an actual testament of the land, everything spiritually showing you that Trinidad manifested because of oppression, you know, because youth had no voice. We can't get a song on radio. If we want to sing a song and have it play for Calypso or for Carnival or enter the Monarch or play somewhere or wherever,
the youths in general never had a shot, especially up until Soca Star. And then after Soca Star, we really ain't had nothing. But Soca Star was brilliant. Like, but why all these things? Party Time was brilliant. That was before my time. But they have things in our country where we had these moments where we, boom, had a boost in culture and a jump. And as we jump, we just stick for a while. Right? And it's because we need to push forward and develop. And the reason why we stick is because of the kind of selfishness. Let's be honest. Everybody just want to be on themselves. As they get something, they to themselves. As they reach up a level, they ain't calling it no more. They want to deal with this one. And you're burning bridges. And it's together we aspire. Together we achieve, bro. And while we all aspiring together, only you achieving. How that fair? Only you wearing diamonds. Everybody else had a scrunt. Only you traveling the world and nobody else getting nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? All the video men who make your videos from in the beginning, we had a struggle here, fighting the fight, trying to build the country still. While the men and them who done boss and make it, you know, they make it. And the benefit is, that's where we could go. But the question is, how, yeah, we could go far there, but are we going to be able to stay? Like, really and truly, dancehall is only 3% of the global music industry. We as the Caribbean, we need to start to make sense, bro. Business sense, bro. We ain't making no business sense. We is the gods of sound, literally, of the modern era. There are books written on Calypso and Caribbean society being the pinnacle of the modern era of humanity after post-World War II era, post black versus white and the colorism and all this crap. We in the Caribbean, because we are microcosm of all these different cultures in one pot. That's why we call ourselves a Kalalu or Pela or whatever, right? In Jamaica, they call it a Dutchie. The whole Caribbean is really, we's all one people. We's all one culture. That's how we end up saying Bajan bad, Vincy bad, Jamaica bad. Because guess what? Bad mean the same thing in all of our countries. We all cook a pot. When you say lend a hand, we need to get back to that as Caribbean people. It still have it all over the Caribbean. Just Trinidad, we lost ourselves right now. Where if somebody hungry, you didn't even... remember long ago, the first thing people ask you eat? Nowadays, it's not that, you know. That was the first thing people used to ask you long ago, though. You eat, even if I don't have nothing to share with you so much. I just ask you eat yet? Nah, well, I've had so many back, we could break this. Even as brethren in school, bro, how much time you buy $1 bread and you bust $1 bread in half, bro? How much people know Swanee and Rebel went to school together? You know what I'm saying? And then now Swanee was this and that, and it's like, come on, bro. Like, we as the big brothers who was there in the beginning had to function now, but from the front. You understand what I'm saying? We play plenty defensive roles, plenty midfielder roles. Time to function from the front. That was dig up my head. I go in and fly Jamaica. I go in and start up a podcast called Finding Peace for Trinidad. It ain't going to be overnight. It ain't going to be overnight. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that. But
we
have to
you don't got real passion.
Yeah,
you don't passionate.
Yeah.
If there's one thing, you don't passionate.
Yeah.
Can't vex with that. Can't vex with that.
Life,
Fuad, get them a message now before we wrap up and go.
I were waiting for tune.
Yeah.
Where you go?
Phone louder and I'm there.
Let me go. Camera time cutting right now. There we go. Get them a message, you know. Youths and them watching.
No, seek the truth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Seek the truth and realize yourself. Realize yourself. Don't take no version of yourself from anybody else. Right? And take your time.
Step by step.
You know, I was there. The anxiety of youth, the rushing. Take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time. You know, that's part of the message. Love one another. Right? Love. My father used to say that is the strongest force it have on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Right? Love, but live it, share it, but live with love. Right? That's one of my little slogans as always think.
Yeah.
You know? Live with love. That enough. That more than enough.
Yeah, man. Well, you don't know, you know. It was a nice one. My boy Bunny Fire on that side there. You don't know, respect. And yeah, it was good. And
Boys are
I hope you
positive.
could do this more often, you know. And keep the ball rolling, you know.
For
Yeah,
sure.
man.
I day any day, any
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Night or day.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
walk with my shades
Yeah,
next time.
they don't come up, you know, and I
We'll
appreciate
sling
that.
up a part two. We'll
Yeah.
sling up a part
Yeah,
two.
of course,
You know what I'm
right?
saying?
So I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah.
You know, my
No problem.
brothers.
Lessons.
Lessons, you know.
Listen,
Alright?
for sure.
Love.
You know, right?
All the time.
Boom.